Hey dear, Zimzy here with my stop for the Escapist Tours for the brand new epic fantasy dark novel and the first in its series, The 11th Cycle by Kian Ardalan. So I've been so excited to read this one because as soon as I saw the cover reveal, I was like, oh, that looks like Dark Souls art. And sure enough, this series was inspired by the Souls franchise, and there's also a little bit of a nod to Berserk in there as well. But before I get too ahead of myself, I do want to fill you in about the plot itself as well as its world. So the story takes place in the realm of Minethria, where every millennia or so a new seed from the Elder King is born, and their task is to defeat the great evil and protect humanity. However, the last 11th seed decided not to do that. So there's all these encroaching mists that are coming in and shrinking the realm. And now a new 11th seed has been born to take their place and complete that task. And the story follows 5 different POVs. So we have Dahlia, who is a farmer girl who has secret powers that she has to keep hidden. And then there's also Chroma, who is one of the Akar, who are this tall ogre-like race, and he's living in a refugee camp. He was raised by humans, and he's going through an identity crisis right now, and he's trying to find his father. And on the flip side of that, we also have Raphael, who is a demigod captain of an army who is busy helping defend humanity against the Akar right now. And then we also have Nora, who is a soldier within his army, and she's dealing with a lot of sexist a-holes as well as a lot of trauma from her family and her past. Then, last but not least, we also have the new seed, Ivorus. I hope I said that correctly, but they are kind of like this super powerful being who also is mentally like a baby right now. They are learning everything. They're soaking up stuff like a sponge so that they can learn how to defeat the big evil. And eventually all these POVs, they begin to intersect because all their destinies are intertwined. And I gotta say, my favorite aspects of the story is how it includes body horror and cosmic horror, because I am a huge horror fan. So when fantasy and horror come together to create one monster baby, I'm a happy camper. So I love how the elders, these godlike beings, they're not like your humanoid Greek gods. No, they are these otherworldly monstrosities with extra arms and missing eyes, and they're creepy and fantastic and bizarre, and I love them. Okay, and just so you get a little taste for how fantastic some of the descriptions are, I'm going to read you a passage where the seed meets the maiden whose task is to guide people through the mountain where the gods live. The seed's guide was Mother Maiden, a lithe and tall being cloaked in ephemeral shadows with the shine of stars to it. Upon her cowled head were features indicative of a face, with slitted slots for eyes, and the imprint of lips but no nose. It looked porcelain, but if it was truly her face or a mask, none could tell. 3 arms were on either side of the maiden that seemed to be made from enamel, as they lacked flesh or muscle. The bone-thin hands were all steepled and pointing downwards. From within the encompassing cloak there opened a seam, and from there was a mummified hand carrying a lantern. The light which shone from the lantern was strange as it pushed back the stagnant shadows, which themselves seemed to writhe abnormally at the edges as if alive. And I do want to point out something that might be a plus for some and a negative for others, and that is that this story is very focused on internal conflict and conflict between personal relationships. So conflict between family members and lovers and stuff like that. and we don't get as much external action, sword and sorcery, a sense of danger, which I would have liked to have seen more of. Like, we don't get to see so much of an influence from the big evil. We hear from dialogue that there's like encroaching myths, but we don't see like their minions or signs of like blight and collapsing civilization to show that there is a consequence to them not being defeated from the last millennia. I want to see them established as a threat, to know why the seed has to go destroy them. Now, to be fair, I feel like there's some stuff going on where maybe the big evil isn't evil per se, they're just an opponent of the elders. They're in conflict with one another. But I still would like them to be seen as a threat in this book so that there's that plot twist, that big, shocking revelation later. But if you like more pensive fantasy that kind of explores human nature, I think you'll really enjoy this one, because you're like going alongside Ivarus, like learning how complicated humans are and how they work. So, yeah, now that we've had the characters established and introduced in the first book, I'm hoping that in the sequel we'll be able to focus a little bit more on action, and I want to see even more monsters, because I forgot to mention, but there are these really cool flying manta rays that are a neat little nod to demon souls that you can ride, and those are so cool, and I want to see more stuff like that. And if you've read this book already, let me know what you felt about it down in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.